Deep within the frozen mountain valleys of Norway sits Kaldvik Station. Built in the early 1970s to monitor atmospheric changes, the facility was abandoned decades ago after unexplained equipment failures forced a permanent shutdown. For years, it sat in isolation, buried under snow and strictly avoided by local residents. This chronological timeline graphic maps out the final movements of a specific expedition. In December 2024, a documentary team ventured into the region to investigate the site. The four-person crew, historian Erik Lund, filmmaker Sofia Markov, sound technician Daniel Reyes, and local guide Ingrid Solberg, are locked into the timeline as having breached the facility just before sunset. When a rescue team tracked the group's path to the facility days later, they found no bodies, no blood, and no signs of a struggle. The station was empty, though the group's arrival had been confirmed by their own abandoned transport. The only anomaly left behind was located in the central control room. In a facility disconnected from the power grid for over 50 years, a solitary audio log was active, playing on an endless loop. The conditions at Kaldvik suggest a facility that preserves its energy in a dormant state, requiring a human presence to trigger its activation. When the crew first entered the facility, they were met by an unnatural drop in temperature. The air inside the corridor was significantly colder than the winter winds outside, and it carried a sharp metallic odor. As they stepped inside, Daniel's recording equipment detected a subtle, low-frequency hum. The vibration hung heavily in the air, felt in the chest despite the total absence of active generators or visible power supplies. The group continued into a circular central control chamber. Here, the subtle vibration broke apart into distinct, layered fragments of voices, repeating entirely unprompted. This frequency analysis shows the signal didn't follow standard radio transmission. Instead, the static hum fractured into structured bioacoustic patterns. These shifting frequencies locked into a specific rhythm, smoothly overlapping to perfectly mimic the speech and tone of the four crew members. Erik argued they should stay and document the anomaly, but that hesitation cost them. As the vibration peaked, a shattered, dust-covered monitor sparked to life, displaying a distorted moving image before instantly going dark. The station began using the crew's acoustic footprint to learn their patterns, feeding their own voices back through the facility's decaying hardware. When the group turned to retreat, the corridor leading out of the control room had changed. The walls seemed closer, and the layout was no longer recognizable. This geometric blueprint shows the station's original layout compared to what the team encountered. As they attempted to exit, the physical layout of the corridor narrowed and rearranged itself, forming an unfamiliar maze. Trapped in the altered architecture, the group heard irregular, sharp clicking noises, emerging from multiple directions within the shifting walls. Sophia raised her camera to record the hallway, and the digital viewfinder captured faint, elongated shadow forms flickering against the rusted metal. The clicking stopped. Out of the darkness, a voice emerged that perfectly replicated Erik's tone and cadence, calling his name back to him. An entity stepped into the faint light. Its form was unstable, long limbs shifting and bending at unnatural angles, struggling to maintain a cohesive shape. The entity rapidly cycled through the features of the team until it settled on the face of the guide, Ingrid. It stared back with hollow eyes and spoke using her stolen voice. The shifting geometry and the stolen voices created a psychological lock, leaving the crew unable to react as the blackout hit. Immediately after the entity spoke, the facility suffered a total power failure. The recovered audio records panicked footsteps, layered voices calling from the dark, and then a complete silence. When the rescue team arrived the next morning, that chaotic audio was gone. The station was pristine and silent. Investigators found no biological evidence of the researchers. No traces of their presence remained within the physical environment. The only active component was a computer terminal in the control room. The monitor was logging the receipt of a signal, specifically the voices of the missing crew. The researchers are gone, but their vocal fragments remain, converted into the station's latest transmission, a looping snare waiting for the next human signal to arrive.